Can you say Dreadlocks Q&A? Probably. Dreadlocks questions and answers part 18. Let's get straight into it. First question is from Ryan Tay. Question: I have some small dreads that I would like to put together. How do I go about doing that? If you have small dreads or thin dreads, or basically you have two or more dreads that you would like to become one dread, generally referred to as Congoing. I have a video on that which I will leave in the description, which will go into it in more detail, but basically you're going to want to get the dreadlocks to start growing together at the root. That can happen naturally if you stop separating dreadlocks. It's going to happen easier for some people. Some people find that their dreadlocks are going to be all growing together, especially when they're young and soft. Other people can find that their dreads will not grow together easily no matter how long they leave them alone. But you can encourage the process of two or more dreadlocks combining by binding them at the root, either with some string tied around or a big bead. A big bead will hold the roots together. It shouldn't take long for them to start to stick together, and then once they've started to stick together you can take off the binding or the bead or whatever you're using, and they will continue to grow out as one dread as long as you don't split them. Question from Jacjumasch. Question: what should you do when you've got dreadlocks and they become infected with nits? Lice can be removed from dreadlocks without shaving off your head. Lice are no more attracted to dreadlocked hair than normal hair, but obviously they're harder to remove because you can't get the comb through. The way that I would remove them is the way that is documented on the Dreadlock Truth Forum and seems to have worked for a lot of people, and it basically involves soaking your head with alcohol, not like drinking alcohol, but rubbing alcohol, and then you put a plastic bag on your head, and that sort of suffocates everything that's in your head. The alcohol fumes displace the oxygen, and then all the lice that are currently alive and moving around in your hair and on your head will die. You're going to want to then repeat that, I believe, every 2 to 3 days until they are all dead, because although you will suffocate the living lice, you won't kill the little eggs. So you have to keep doing it so that when the eggs hatch and the little things come out, you kill those before they have time to make new lice. But yeah, I've never had lice or bugs in my dreadlocks, but that method seems to have worked for a lot of people. Next question is from matstreets. Question: I have had my dreads for about a week now, and I'm having a problem with my dreads in the back of my head. My dreads are about 6 inches. They are not wanting to stay locked. I did the twist and rip method because I feel it's the most natural besides neglect. If you have any advice on keeping them locked, and that would be great. Over the long term, dreads on the back of your head are gonna sort of lock faster because they're getting rubbed when you sleep on them. But when they're brand new, you can find that they kind of get rubbed out. If they're just coming really loose but still staying sort of clumped, then I wouldn't worry about it and just wait for it to tighten up. What you might find is you'll have to twist and rip it a few times before you can get the technique properly down and get them solid enough for them to stay. But as long as they stay roughly in lumps of hair, as long as they don't go completely back to straight hair, eventually those will lock up. If they're really, really stubborn, maybe try wrapping them with string just to hold them together for a little bit, but that's not sort of a long-term solution. Jonas Hägg. Question: I've neglected dreads, and I wonder how your dream dreads would look like, if you know what I mean, and since all dreads are different, which are the coolest dreads you've spotted? I don't have a set of dream dreads. Maybe when I first started out I had a picture in mind thinking, oh, I wish I had dreadlocks that look like this, but I don't really think of them like that anymore. I like dreadlocks, I think they're cool, but I don't sort of ever look at a set of dreadlocks and go, I wish my hair was like that. I just don't see them in that way anymore. I know that's not a very interesting answer, but I don't really feel that I can quantify how sort of and rank how dreadlocks look, because it's always a process and it's not sort of an end result and stuff. And my Facebook question, the question that's been left on the Facebook page and has been picked for this week's Q&A, is from Only My Own Voice. Is it actually necessary to do dreadlock maintenance, pull the loose hairs in with loose hair tools / palm roll, etc. with new dreads, or can I get amazing thick rounded dreads by simply separating and properly washing / drying them? It seems like the tools seem to give an immediate smooth looking result, however it seems to create more loose hairs and soft spots in the long run than areas I just left to their own advices. What's your experience on maintenance tools? No, you don't need to use maintenance tools or palm rolling if I'm anything to go by. I don't own a maintenance tool and I don't palm roll them and things, and I've ended up with rounded-ish dreadlocks. I'm sure they're not to everyone's taste. Everyone has a different idea of what they'd like their dreadlocks to look like. Some people are really into crocheted looking dreadlocks, some people enjoy crocheting and latch hooking and things, and some people don't. And it's fine either way, but as an answer to your question, no, it's not necessary, because, yeah. Obviously there are pros and cons to all techniques and methods, whether you use this or that, and everything should be done in moderation. Those are my questions for this week. Something I want to show is this bead here. I'm going to be showing some different things made by different people, and I'll talk about this a bit more in depth in my next Dreadlock update. But here's a cool bead from Naughty Sleeves, and Naughty Sleeves is on Etsy, so if you would like to see these and maybe would be interested in finding out more about them, you can find them Naughty Sleeves on Etsy, and I'll put a description. No, I will put a link in the description. Yes, I will. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, queries, remember, if you'd like to leave a question to be answered in a Q&A, you have to leave it in the comment section of this video and write question at the start. You can connect with me at on Facebook, and that's www.facebook.com/lazydreads, and every Monday I'll be posting a status asking for questions, and there will also be an opportunity for you to post your question there and for it to be my 5th question. Hopefully I will see you this time next week for the next Q&A. Thank you for watching. Farewell.